Hey there, it's Summer with hammondsnest.com, and I have a super fun project to share with y'all today. I've got an Easter sign that I'm going to be working on featuring the Dollar Tree calendar art. And so I pulled the sheet out that I wanted to work with, and of course it has a cute little bunny on it, and I'm ripping the edges just to give it more of a distressed rustic look, okay? After I do that, the next step is going to be to take this coffee bean, which is an espresso, kind of a brown black chalk paint by Dixie Belle, and I am going to coat the front, the back, and the sides, all letting it dry in between. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because the numbers and the letters on the calendar printable, if you want to call it that, because it's kind of like a printable, they will actually, if you use a white background, they will bleed through. And I'll kind of give you a snapshot of that later on here in the steps. But I just didn't want that to happen. But it really, I kind of tied this color in. You'll see how it kind of all comes out. I can't wait for you to see the end result. But after that dark color is all dry, we're going to grab our Mod Podge. We're going to grab our Dollar Tree calendar art there, and we're just going to adhere it to the board. Now, I am working on a wood board. This art is about 12 inches by 12 inches. And then once I ripped it, I created a little bit of a border. So the wood that I cut is 12 by 12, and it's just regular like white wood. And so one coat of Mod Podge on the board, put it down, another coat of Mod Podge. And the next, the Dollar Tree cookie sheets, which are so great for that like faux metal look. I measured the edges of my sign and cut those out. I went ahead and did that. And I also cut these flower designs, and you'll kind of see how this all stacks up and comes together. But my camera kind of messed up when I was in the middle of recording this for y'all, so I didn't have those steps. But I just painted them with white chalk paint, let them dry, and now I'm just stressing them a little bit, very, very gently. I'm just wanting some of that silver to show through. So this comes together pretty easily. These are great for creating that kind of faux metal, bringing in some extra texture. And when I do work with the cookie sheets, the disposable cookie sheets from Dollar Tree, I like to seal whatever I put on them, whether it be paint or like a color wash or anything like that. I like to seal it with Mod Podge. So that's what you see me doing here. I'm going to get that all on there. And then I have these 3 pieces of a flower that I'm going to be incorporating as an embellishment. So regular hot glue, go ahead and get that metal, those cut strips of metal attached to the edge of your sign. And then before we move on to any other of the embellishments I have planned, you're just going to grab some regular jute string if you want to kind of do it like me. I'm sure there's a lot you could do this. And I'm just wrapping it a few times on the bottom. This is where the base of my sign is done, but I just start adding a lot of detail. So you'll kind of really see how beautiful all the little extra touches are. So now it's time for that flower. Y'all, this is super cute. I'm definitely going to be doing this one again, but I'm stacking these 3 flowers cuts to make a big kind of 3D dimensional, and I put a cute little button in the center, just all with hot glue. Now, just to keep adding dimension and detail, I'm grabbing some of that white chalk paint in the color Fluff, and then I'm grabbing some of that espresso color that I use, and I'm just adding it to the metal, I'm adding it to the sign, and wiping it back with baby wipes, just kind of adding a rustic touch. So far so good. And then you can kind of see there I'm dusting it on the tips of this flower to make it stand out even more. It's these little details that really make something super interesting to look at, I think. And then I'm taking even more of that brown, dark brown black color and giving some antiquing to the edges. And that is looking really good. Okay, so I've got a couple more things that I want to put on there. I've got some ribbon and fabric scraps that I'm going to be kind of incorporating. I'm doing kind of a layered look with some things I thought tied in really nicely. Then I have a teeny tiny little bow I'm going to lay over the top, just adding extra dimension. Lastly, a little button in the center of that bow at the top. And then I'm gluing down the edges so it kind of just all stays together. I think that's pretty great. But as a last final touch, I've got some green moss that I'm going to tuck underneath that flower, and I'm just gently patting it down with more hot glue, and I think we are done. One of my most favorite things about crafting is how you can start with something so simple, add in lots of layers and textures and dimension, and just really make it your own and make it so interesting. Well, I hope this one brought you a little joy today, seeing it come together and inspires you to do something similar. I'll see you next time for more crafty fun. Bye, y'all.